Okay, guys, today we will be discussing comps. Comps, other people know them as comparables. So comps are something that you would use to describe your film or your show. We don't judge. If you're trying to go, oh, I have this film, it's never been done, it's never been created, and people are going, well, that's unattainable for me to understand. Why should I pay for this? Why should I watch this random thing that looks like nothing that's been made? So should it be made? Then you can go, hey, here are all these movies that it is similar to. And they go, okay, I think I would like this vibe. Or, okay, I see the demographic. It's also a way to kind of get tone, scene structure, if you want to get pacing down, if you want to showcase pacing. Another thing it's really good for is budget. How do you justify a budget of a film? If you go, okay, this film is very similar and it made so much money, give me the money for the movie. So that's kind of what comps are. I'm gonna go through a couple comps. So we're in LA baby land right now. LA, for those who don't know, it's my film about two people hanging out one day in LA who fall in love because of happenstance, and they fall in love with the city as much as they fall in love with each other. So my comps are, for this film, Before Sunrise, Rye Lane, and Roman Holiday. Those are the three that I feel like encompasses my project the most. Now, before I dive into why, I want to say that comps are hard for me. I don't really like comps because I try to make all original IP. Whatever I'm working on, I try not to watch anything that has to do with that while I'm writing. I don't know. I feel like a lot of people, there's one thing to pay homage, but to just flat out copy something because you're lazy, I think it's a weird cop out. I don't like it, so I try my hardest not to do it. But now that I'm done writing, we can watch some of these together. So I am in the process of getting an editor, hold out, for film videos and reaction videos to movies and shows. Please suggest some if you want me to watch anything. I personally have no desire to edit these. Do I have time? No. Am I also writing other things? Yes. Do I have a full-time job? Yes. Am I building other side companies? Yes. So I don't have time to do that because it's not my job. So we're going to hire someone else to edit things. So Before Sunrise, beautiful film, like cinematically beautiful. I think there's a slower pace that kind of lulls you in. It's directed by Lincoln. What's his last name? It's like Linkletter. Hold on. Like Richard Linkletter.
Hi, I'm Richard Linklater. Thanks for watching.
Linklater. So it's about an American guy named Jesse who is on his way to Vienna. And he meets this woman, Celine. She's very beautiful, very sweet, and very alluring. And they meet on a train. And, she's going somewhere else. He's going somewhere else. But he's like, stop, spend the day with me. He's like, I have one more day left basically here. He doesn't have a place to stay or sleep. So they're just going to hang out all day. And you watch them literally hang out all throughout the city. They meet people who invite them places. Are they going to go? No. But they hang out. And I think it's the first time that I saw a deep intimacy on screen with characters like this, because I think this is how people talk. We can get into language later, but I think so many people don't realize that the way conversations are written for screen and television are very different from how we have them in real life. And this is one of the first times I feel like it was sort of normal. It felt organic going in and out of conversations. And I found out that the two leads, I mean, it's basically just them on a screen walking around, but the two leads gave their input for the film. So they contributed to a lot of the inner workings and the interweaving of conversations, which I thought was really fun. Before Sunrise is about an hour 45. The pacing is just quite beautiful. I really feel like I'm lulled into their world and enjoying the city through their eyes. And it's very calm. It's a very distant take on the city, which I kind of like. It feels like they feel like tourists there, and that's beautiful, but I kind of want to change the perspective on mine and make them not exactly tourist. And that's kind of where I move into like Rye Lane. Rylane is a beautiful film that explores the color and the beat and the heartbeat of a city. It's so visually stimulating while still keeping to that structure of like we're really putting us in the city, but they condense them to one neighborhood, which it's a little hard to do that in LA. Just personally, we don't really like, you have to have a car here. Like, they walked everywhere in that movie. They walked everywhere. You have to have a car all over LA, which will present its own problems when it comes to shooting and zoning. But yeah, I really enjoyed the color blocking. They went out of their way to mix so many different bold colors into the city, but also I love the acts of surrealism that they add in when they're trying to explain things to each other, because of course your mind has to imagine what this person is kind of saying, and if they're already exaggerating something, like the whatever you end up imagining from your conversation would technically be a surrealist image or a surrealist visual. I thought it was really fun and clever how they use that, and by the end, I genuinely believe their love story. Like, I feel like the first film, I don't think they fell in love. I think they were like, I really like you, this could go somewhere. But in Rylane, I think I genuinely understood that they fell in love. And there was like a purpose. There was like a meaning for why they were hanging out. They both got broken up with, and they were just deciding, hey, I help you, you help me, kind of a deal, which I thought was beautiful. Reciprocity. Yeah, so they meet by happenstance at a mutual friends gallery and end up spending the day together. It's a beautiful film. And then our third film is gonna be Roman Holiday. I love Roman Holiday. I've only seen, again, all these films, I've only seen like once or twice. I went out of my way not to overwatch them. These are the films that were described to me, right? So when I write something, people tell me what the comps are, and then I go watch the comp and I go, huh, okay, I can see that. I can see this. And it also gives me a clue as to how I'm explaining the film that I'm working on, because I'm so visual and I can't draw. So it's like, I really got to show a finished product, but it takes so long to get a finished product to be like, see, that's what I meant. That's what my brain was doing. But yeah, so Roman Holiday, Audrey Hepburn, it's like one of her first movies. I think it's her first actual film, and she got an Oscar. Like, I think she won the Academy Award for Best Actress. It's a really good movie. She's playing a princess who like hates life. She's bored, and there's a reporter trying to get access to her and other people, and realizes, hey, I'm gonna take her around and I'm gonna take photos of her, and we're gonna use this and be like, ha 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 ha. We snuck and got, you know, her to like be a rebel in the city. But he realized that she's more sheltered than he really thought, and she's actually a kind person, and he falls for her energy, she falls for his. They end up liking each other. But hilarity ensues as they get to know each other while exploring Rome. And I thought it was beautiful. I got back from Rome a few months ago, and I didn't even think about the movie when I was there, but when I've come back, I'm like, oh, Rome was so special. It's just a special place in my heart. I don't know, maybe it's like certain people are meant to go certain places, and I just feel like that was a beautiful experience. And I'm happy I went in person, because the pacing of a city, like, it's really hard to get a hustle bustle city that's like on it, but incredibly calm, incredibly lackadaisical at the same time. That juxtaposition is really hard to capture, and I'm happy I went, because I got to experience this vibe that I feel in LA without saying it. And when I was there, I was like, this is the most LA city I've ever felt, ever. It feels the most like LA out of any place I've gone to in any country on any continent. And I've had friends who are from other countries who've gone to Rome in LA. They tell me Rome feels so much like LA. It really does. Living here, I get a little jaded a little bit, and there are things that I don't think about or I forget to bring in or mention or add. And going to a place like that, I was there for like a month, so going there, I was able to really get kind of a taste of the kind of energy and the flow I want to represent. I don't know, it's weird, like being out of your body or like taking yourself out of a situation. You're able to like view it objectively. I think that's the best way to describe what happened there. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I loved all the weird things that he got her to do that are whimsical, and I'm trying to figure out how to have that reversed so that she gets a guy to do whimsical things in a city that he doesn't live in and doesn't really want to be in. He's like fine being there for work, but it's not his cup of tea. He was dragged on a work trip. You always want to know the budget and the box office for a film. It's important, especially for comps. So it's important to note that like the box office means something to the industry. I don't know why this is the official number that means something, but this is what means something. Box office equates to opening weekend. So some movies have Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Some movies have Saturday, Sunday. Some movies have Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Just depends. There are some movies that open like midnight on Thursday and they just run all day, because they're that popular. Like, I used to work at a movie theater and I had never at the time gone through all the Star Wars, but people were really excited for these new Star Wars. And they said that these are blackout dates. No one can take off and they're open 24 hours a day because they were going to make so much money. They only had one theater at any given time showing another movie, and it was just all Star Wars. When box office ends, so like at the end of the night on Sunday, that total is accumulated. And you count up all the money all the theaters made, and that's your box office number. Now, worldwide means all of the money from your opening everything from every country added together. And some places will be like, oh my God, we lost this market, we lost that market because we put something weird in a movie, or we gained this market because we're making, a movie that has less of these things in it. Whatever your worldwide is, depends on your movie, right? Some people in Russia may not want to watch a Spanish film, so maybe you don't really show it in Russia. I don't know, right? There are some people in Japan who may not want to watch, a Swedish film, so maybe you don't show it there because of the topics and themes. They're not resonating with that demographic. Anyways, this is important to add under your film. So normally you'd show the image of the movie and then how much it cost, who's attached, if that matters to you. And then you would do box office, and then we're going to do budget. So the budget is how much money it costs to make the film. So there's two numbers for how much it costs to make a movie. One is the money you raised for the film, and the second is how much the movie cost up into the release date. Because once you make a film, you have to market it. You have to put it through the ringer with distribution. What's a good example of like a crazy marketing budget? Wicked was at the Super Bowl. Ladies and gentlemen, Wicked was at the Super Bowl. They bought a Super Bowl slot for a Wicked trailer. They had every toy, makeup, food company, like marketing. I've just Barbie had intense marketing. Everywhere I turned, there was a Barbie collab. And then all of the people in the movie, especially Margot, were doing Barbie archival looks from like actual dolls. It was insane. It worked. But some people do a big marketing budget and it doesn't work, right? Like no matter what you do, no one's going to watch this movie. I don't know. So my film is a little more grungier, a little more on the ground, grassroots, guerrilla style shooting, right? And so I was like, okay, what's the cheapest movie that I've ever seen that looks good? And it's a movie called You're a Monster. It was made in 2024 and has a very up-to-date cast, uses up-to-date cameras. So I'm like, okay, it's definitely possible to make a very contained film. Let's see what we can do here. This was made for $300K. So not even a mil, $300K. I'm going to try to get to $250 to $300K is my max that I would do. And worldwide, it made about 800K, 810K is what it actually made. But what was the budget, right? In the US alone, it made about 7,500K, right? So if it made about 7,500K in the US alone, they probably marketed to Canada and London. That's what they probably did. This movie made its money back. And that's the goal. They were profitable. So I'm like, okay, for a film like this, we're just going to make that. Because this one, I don't need a ton of money and I'm not hiring huge actors. Those are my thoughts and feelings. I'm going to watch all 3 of those films as well as some extra films about LA. And whenever we secure this editor, I will release them. But until then, it was nice to see you. Have a good day. Bye, guys.